Hey there, and welcome everybody. I'm Exterminator, and thank you for joining me for another video again today. I hope everyone had a great holiday and also Happy New Year. And today we're going to be covering everything we know so far about the Factorio expansion. I said I was going to do a video like this. I wanted to wait until we got all the Friday facts with information about it through the end of the year, which we have. So now is the time to do this now. I know, yes, we're on PowerPoint. This was the easiest way I could think of to display this information. I could have done a bunch of editing and like put it over gameplay, but I don't think it would have really displayed as well. And my PowerPoint skills aren't fantastic, so bear with me. But really, the main thing is just the information that we're going to go over here. So I just want to combine all this together so everyone kind of has a good idea of what we've learned so far and what's yet to come. And there's actually quite a bit. If you haven't been keeping up with the Friday Facts or whatever, you maybe don't know all the features, and I actually forgot some of them too when I was looking back through them. So we're going to start off here. Just a very quick, that was the introduction, very quick disclaimers. Any like information on times I may provide here for release is not something the dev said. I just want to make that clear. I'm not like making up things the dev said. They have not provided any actual dates for release. Anything I say is a pure guess on my part, based on just general things they said about their progress. So just wanted to clarify that. And then some of the features that will be included in the base game versus paid expansion is also a guess by me. It's not, some of them are not actually confirmed. Some of them are confirmed for sure by the devs, but some of them I'm just giving my best educated guess based on just all the information we have in front of us. Moving on to, I've just color coded so it's a little easier. Items in red are features that are only going to be available in the paid expansion, and I would say this is definitely more of a sure thing in terms of like these are almost all of these are things the devs have confirmed. So there's that, and then green indicates features available for free with 2.0 when it releases in the base game. So when they release 2.0 with the expansion, anyone who already has the game will just, and upgrades obviously for free, will get features listed in green. It's a lot of quality of life stuff, really good things. And lastly, the images in the background I just pulled from the Friday Facts, so I just want to say I don't own any rights to these. These are images from the Factorio Friday Facts owned by the dev. So let's just go ahead and move on here. So we'll start with the big ones. So brand new content and features. So the huge one obviously is space platform and space travel. This is, kind of a very broad thing, but again, you can build a space platform, lets you travel to different planets, send resources up there, send resources between planets. That's like the huge thing of the expansion, but there's a lot of sub things with that. So we're getting 4 new planets. Besides Novice, besides the base planet, we're getting 4 new ones. The only one we have solid information about so far is a volcanic planet called Vulcanus. Now, there's been some hints dropped that there's probably some sort of cold, watery, icy planet of some sort. We don't really know anything about the other 2, but there are 4 planets total, so we can expect that. With that, there are 3 new science packs. So there's a new science pack with each of the main or first 3 planets. So there's going to be one on Vulcanus, the volcanic planet, and then also one on 2 more planets. And then the last 4th planet is just going to be, there's no indication there's a science pack with that. There might be, but so far we don't know that. It's just kind of like the very last planet you can get to. The next huge thing is elevated rails. So finally we are getting rail bridges and elevated rails. They did a whole Friday Facts on this. They look amazing. I have a little picture of it in the next slide. So you can now have, rails on the ground and then elevated rails as well, and all these different crossings and stuff. It's going to be amazing. And then we have new ground rail options. So we have like S-bins, and you can do some different types of turns and stuff. And you can see that one's in green. So that one likely will be something that is just going to be available when 2.0 comes out, whether you buy the paid part or not. Obviously, all those things in red, you have to buy the expansion part to actually access those, along with metallurgy and smelters. So this is going to come from Vulcanus volcanic planet. You can see in the screenshot just to the right there that we get a smelter, and then metallurgy and stuff like that, which is going to be really interesting. Definitely some faster good ways to make materials. Item quality, this is a very controversial one, but this is essentially where they're adding different well, qualities to all different items and buildings, most buildings and items, that just make them better. So it's kind of an RNG thing. There's I think 3 or 4 different qualities, and each one, as you progress up, gets better and better. So it like makes modules better, with less downsides, or makes inserters faster, can pick up more, buildings faster, walls stronger, etc., etc. So this is a controversial thing just because it's a very RNG type of thing to get these quality items, because it's only a % chance to get them, but overall I'm a fan of it. Late game item productivity research. So this one I left in white because I honestly can't. I'm not sure if this is going to be in the paid part or not. Like the others in green, I can pretty easily guess, but this one I'm really not sure, and I didn't want to just throw it in one and be completely wrong. But what this is this is basically going to just be other things like the mining productivity researches, where it's going to be, such things like you can get just built-in productivity for things like rocket control units and steel, probably low density structures, other stuff like that, where you research it, and then every research of this you get, makes it so that those items just have a built-in productivity when you're making them, whether you put productivity modules in that machine or not, which is super nice. Just some more options for late game research. Roboport requests is one, so you'll be able to actually request items specifically to a Roboport, like repair packs would be, the main one, and stuff like that. Logistic groups, which is absolutely fantastic. So you can create logistic groups. So you can have like a group. This is for like requests, right? So you can have a group for like all your rail building stuff, all your base building stuff, all your outpost stuff, and you can just have these different groups and select between them instead of totally adjusting your stuff like one by one on the fly. And then new combinator. There's a new combinator. I think it's called a selector combinator, and circuit conditions. I don't know. I didn't really understand a lot about this Friday Facts because this is a very weak part of the of my gameplay. But these things will be just included in the free part of the game. And anyone who does circuit network stuff will probably really like this. There's just a lot of general improvements. They are making the usability of it a lot better too. It's just more kind of user friendly too. We're getting a new mining drill, the big mining drill. Specifically, well, I shouldn't say specifically, but one of the reasons I added it was to mine a new resource that's going to be on Vulcanus. That's, like a harder resource to mine. So they added this. This one, it has a bigger range. It's way faster than a base mining drill. It's going to be really powerful. It looks awesome too. Multiple new resources. So the confirmed ones so far are on Vulcanus, which is calcite and tungsten. The mining drill, tungsten was the resource I was referring to, that needs that. And then I would imagine there's going to be at least 1 or 2 new resources on all the other planets, on each of the other planets, just because, that would make sense. Otherwise, why would you go there? But yeah, 2 new confirmed ones so far, probably some on new planets and new enemies. We don't really have any information about this. They have hinted at it, and sometime way back last year, maybe it was even 2022, they showed a spoiler screenshot picture of some crazy looking like tentacle enemy. So we know for a fact there are going to be new enemies. I don't know if they'll be on every planet. We don't know really anything about them, but there will be new enemies. It is possible that they could add new enemies to Novice, and they could be in the non-paid version, but I really don't think that's the case. It seems like they're not really touching the main planet in terms of like changes to the planet and enemies themselves there. So that's probably going to be part of the paid thing. Okay, so next part is quality of life features. You can see there on the right some pictures of the elevator rails. They look pretty awesome. Again, though, those are part of the paid expansion. I just wanted to put a screenshot in here for it. So robot improvements and optimizations, which is actually huge. They did a whole Friday Facts on this about just smarter charging, the robot's going to be smarter about filling requests and picking up items closer to them, instead of having robots like fly across the whole base to fulfill something when there's one right nearby. Overall, it's just going to make robot use way more efficient, way better. Wiring combinator power pole improvements, just a lot to do with like quality of life of placing wiring and power poles as well. Tons of new remote view options. So, like when you go into your map basically and you can do this stuff, there's going to be tons of new options. Like you can like rotate belts from there. You can edit other stuff. There was a ton of different things you could do with that, but just way more options there. Super force ghost building, where basically It will allow you to uh, like force build landfill, like with when you go to ghost build without having to actually like put landfill in a blueprint and then blueprint it or whatever. It'll allow you to do that along with some other options. You can then also another feature is you'll be able to mine landfill and obviously select it for a decon. So placing landfill is no longer a permanent mistake if you mess up. Train control improvements and schedule groups, which is awesome. So these schedule groups again are going to be like the logistic groups, kind of where you can set groups of schedules. So you can have like, I don't know, like iron train group, and then any train you add, you just select the group and it automatically puts that schedule in the group. From the group to that train, you can create these schedule groups, which is awesome. Other train control improvements, overall optimizations with map gen and stuff. This is a recent Friday Facts where they're just going to be, they improve map gen speed by a ton, and just other optimizations behind the scenes. Max range indicators. So now you'll get an indicator like when you've reached the max range of an underground belt or a pipe. It'll change, I think, to green, the like dotted lines. Like now, especially with the longer underground belts, it's hard to tell sometimes because you may not just automatically recognize the distance. You have to kind of move it back and forth. But once you hit the max, it'll just like turn the dotted lines to green, and you'll automatically know that's the max distance. And then map tag improvements as well, which may seem small, but it's super cool. You can like once you place like map tags, you can now just pick them up and move them around. You can also just Control C and Control V, I think, copy them. Or maybe it's just using the pipette tool where you just hit Q over it and it copies it. Either way, you can copy and paste them basically now. So you can easily just, place them multiple times in a map without having to select through all the options again. And this is the main stuff. There may be a couple like tiny things I missed. I did look through all the Friday Facts we've got since they started doing Friday Facts again up until just like a week ago. So this is everything we know so far, and it was something I think probably along, I would say like 16 to 20, 15 to 20 Friday Facts, closer to 20, I think. And in terms of release date, again, the devs do not provide an actual date, but we can assume, my guess would be probably sometime in September maybe of this year. It's definitely going to be this year, I would, unless something goes horribly wrong. So probably August, September of this year would be my guess. But we're getting a Friday Facts every week up until release, so we can expect, I would say, at least another 30 probably Friday Facts, and we've already got all this information on all this awesome stuff coming into the expansion so far, and we're probably getting like another, the amount of Friday Facts and a half again for up until the expansion releases. So there's a ton of new content to come. Like I said, we don't know anything about the other 3 planets or new enemies or anything like that. So there's a ton of new stuff to come. But here you go. I hope that was helpful to everyone. Just kind of a summary of everything we know so far coming to expansion. If you hadn't been keeping up with all that or kind of forgot some stuff, like I said, I definitely forgot some stuff reading back through it. But I think that's going to do it for this one. That pretty much covers everything I can think of. If there's like any huge things that I forgot, definitely let me know down in the comments. And also, I'd love to hear, like, what are you looking forward to most out of these? What's not on here that you hope they still go into, that they add? For me, like, one of the things would be fluid improvements is like top of my wish list right now that they haven't mentioned that I really hope is coming. So I would love to hear it down there. If you're excited for this stuff, definitely feel free to drop a like. And if you're new, welcome. And feel free to subscribe as well to keep up with future content like this about the expansion and other gameplay related stuff. And if you have any thoughts, leave them below. And until next time, I look forward to seeing you all, and do take care.